survivors, we're you. If you were a part of the long-term recovery committee, will you raise your hand, wave? So there's several of you here. So I'm going to read to you what the definition of Monroe Strong is. It's a group of individuals, agencies, organizations, and faith-based entities working to find and assist disaster survivors with unmet disaster-related needs. So through this process, we've realized that this is much bigger than one person can handle. FEMA, MEMA, American Red Cross, they're not enough. We have to have all hands on deck. And in order for us to lead well, it's important for us to understand the needs of the community. The application process has been developed and is currently being shared with the community and throughout the community. We already have over 100 applications. Those applications have been contacted, the needs have been categorized, and we've stored them for when resources become available. We understand that there have been previous applications. We understand that you guys have probably given loads of paperwork to other organizations. However, we need you guys to complete our application. We need you to get with families, friends, and anyone else that needs assistance to get this done. What the application is going to do is going to tell the story of Monroe County. By completing the application, it ensures that your story is heard, that your needs are accounted for. And by telling the story, we believe that we can bring in the needed resources to help put our community back together. If any of you watched the WCBI news last night at 10 o'clock, you would have seen me on there, and the first clip of me was that I still live with my mother-in-law. So I'm here with you guys too. We understand this is taking longer than much longer than any of us would like, but there is real progress that's being made. On a weekly basis, we have resources such as finances, materials, and volunteers that are being offered and coordinated to assist our community. Just today, I had a business owner willing to donate windows to our organization. It's going to take a little bit to get those windows to our organization just because it's a lot of paperwork to fill out. We have another local organization that's assisting with furniture needs. I had someone reach out to me last night wanting to send a truckload of roof decking to us. However, we got to have a place for that roof decking to land. We're continuously having meetings trying to locate resources that will be needed for our recovery process. And we also have volunteer groups that are already scheduled to come in. We have someone here tonight with a group from Sister Corps. It's going to be made up of about 40 or 50-ish ladies that will be coming and staying a week, and they will be here to rehab homes. So the needs are great, and prioritizing the diverse needs of this community is very, very daunting. And anyone that is doing any type of volunteer services knows how hard it is. As you know, members of our community need everything. We need roofs and rafters, and roofing and flooring, and beds and sofas and pillows, and we're doing the best that we can to address those needs in the best way possible. I am a member of Rotary, and just the other day we had a presentation where we came up with what it would cost for someone to sponsor a house for a 4-person family just to get back into their homes. So we're trying to locate resources not only on a very, very large level, but also on a small, manageable level for somebody to be able to donate. If you know me, and if you don't know me now, you probably will get to know me, but you know that I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight every day. I'm going to fight for every dollar, for every need, and for every person in this community. My background is mortgage loans. I've done mortgage loans for the past 17 years. So my priority is, I believe in getting people in their homes. The Long-Term Recovery Committee is committed to seeing this community fully recovered as soon as possible. And we're confident that in the weeks and the months ahead, the results of this process will start to become visible throughout the community. For those of you that need help, we're here for you. We're here to help you. We have an application station over here. They're taking applications. They're here to answer any questions. If you've already had an application, you had questions about that application, we have someone here that might can help you. We have partners with FEMA and MEMA, Love Without Walls. We have partners here with Meals on Wheels. We have Sister Corps partners. We have American Red Cross. We're here to help and to answer any questions. For those of you that can help, we need you too. We need as many volunteers as possible. This is not going to be done alone. So over there, you can also sign up for volunteer work. And that's all I've got. There might be a slew of questions though. The organization that is here to assist us in coordinating this recovery process the best way possible. This is Liz.
Hi.
And I think she might want to say something that I probably forgot, so.
Lindsay did great. I just wanted to ask if there were any questions. No questions. Look, you did a great job. You answered all the questions. Yeah, oh, yes, sir.
We say good evening to everybody. First, we want to thank all of these organizations who have come here this evening to help on our behalf. And I want all of you to know who's sitting out there in those chairs, whatever your needs are, you need to make them known to these people tonight. You don't need to leave here, get on the outside, go talking about this and about that we don't have, just listen to me, that we don't have the funds to do this with. You need to let them know. And if you don't have the resources to make a loan, you need to let them know that you don't have that type of funds to make a loan. That you need something that will help them, help you all to get back in your homes as soon as possible. And one thing I do know about this area, that the resources are very, very limited. Let me share this. If you don't have insurance on your home, if you need a roof on your home, let them know that you need a roof on your home. If you need sheetrock in the ceiling, let them know that you need sheetrock in the ceiling. If you need a bathtub in, your bathtub will destroy, whatever it is that you need, make sure that you let them know that you don't have the resources to put them back yourself. Now, it would be not justice for us to come here tonight and go away knowing what our needs are and have not stated our needs to these organizations who have come here. And one thing I want all of us to know is, and that is this, there is a lot of residents in this area and out in the county, in Wren, Egypt, White Rock, Tomlin Road, and all of the areas that was affected by this tornado. They need help as well. And all I'm trying to say is that if you don't have the money, I'm just a common old speaking guy. If you don't have the money to redo your house in the inside, and if you don't have the money, if your foundation has been shaken off the core, and you don't have the funds to put it back on foundation, and you don't have the insurance to do it, and if your insurance has not done it for you, and if your insurance is giving you trouble, you need to let them know. Because, let me finish. all I'm trying to do is to help us. I'm going to tell you about myself. I'm Jose Bowden, currently serving as 5th District Supervisor. And I want to represent my people with all the knowledge, all the ability, all the integrity and all the intelligence that God give me. And I believe in this. Those people who are less fortunate, that can't help themselves, that's what the government is for. And we don't need to be running around with a lot of red tape talking about, well, this will happen in 8 months or 9 months. These people have been stranded ever since March the 24th of 2023. So we need some action, and we need some quick action. And we're not impatient people. We are patient people, but we just need some help. We want you to know what our conditions are. And if we don't state what our conditions are, how are they going to know what our conditions are? Now, while I'm standing, some people might have a mind to ask me a question, more so than they have a mind to ask other people's questions. Do you have any question, anybody sitting in the audience, to ask me?
Is there anything that we can do to help Piggly Wiggly come back?
Let's have some order, man. Let's have some order. We asked for a question, and she asked the question.
When it first happened and I spoke with him, he was so upset he did not want to open the store. He is now considering it, but, you know, that's been in their family a long time. And I know it has helped the West Side a lot to have that.
Let me say this right here. Let me say this. I've heard about the organization. They said they got Small Business Administration. They got loans. And so people who are able to get loans, they need to, who have funds, they need to apply for them, if you know where I'm coming from. And those who are not able to put out these resources themselves, we need to let these people know tonight. We don't need to be shy about doing it either. And when tomorrow comes, if the Lord wake all of us up, we need to have a clear mind where we're headed and the goal that we're trying to reach. Everybody understand what I'm trying to say? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys, 1 second. Yeah.
Can you come forward? Makes it. It'll work out eventually, right? It's one of them ones right here. Do it one more time. This is essential. We're working. We understand from the Gulf Coast the need and the desperation. We're going to work very hard and tirelessly. The LTRC here has brought us in to make sure that everyone in this county is served to the very best of our ability, and the full story is told when people from around the nation are saying, where should we go and serve? We want to make sure they come right here to this county and this city. But we've got to be able to tell that story and be able to articulate that. And so make sure tonight you don't leave. Even if you've got to just take a picture of it, go home and tell your grandchild, baby, what I'm supposed to do with this? All right? But get it in your phone. We'll work it out, right? We're going to work it. If you can't do nothing else but take a picture of this and just go home and say, man, what I'm supposed to do with this thing, right? Make sure, because we need your needs registered. And now listen, and he said it so well, do not be shy. You know, and let me say it the other way, don't be prideful. Now is not the time to be prideful. You know, if you need help, say what you need. Be honest about what you need. Take pictures of what you need. Share it and document it. No one here is about judging somebody. We're about serving people. And that's what this is all about. And so we really need to make sure that you get registered. A lot of people are here to help. We've got people here over at the registration for assistance. FEMA representatives are here. MEMA representatives are here. This is one of those things that you've heard it. A closed mouth don't get fed. Say amen.
Amen.
All right, there you go, right? So open your mouth. I think that's what Mr. Hogan was trying to say. Open your mouth. But we'll take a few more questions. We don't want to hold everyone here tonight for very, very long. We'll take a few more questions, but we will remain here for those individual questions. And again, please take advantage of the resources that are here for you tonight. We're going to go one. We're going to go two. Let's go one first.
If you're driving a gray
locked in.
All right, we got it. Gray Toyota Corolla got the newsman blocked in. He won't leave. Let him out. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, sir.
The majority of the tornadoes hit at night, over here. We don't have any, do y'all have any way of any assistance on helping persons doing shelters per household?
I will say this, you are not the first person to ask that question here tonight. You are actually the second person I've heard ask that question tonight, that very specific question. Here's what we want to do. We've got to document that question. We've got note takers around the room. We're going to document that question and make sure that we can find an answer and make sure that it gets published as well, okay? What I would say as well is make sure that you fill out a need for it, because again, when you're, okay.
Right now with the state, there's not
Mima.
a program open for storm shelters. Not to say that won't happen, but right now it's not. If it does happen, it'll be out on social media and everywhere else so that you can know about it. Right now, there's not a storm shelter program open with the state. Because it
So-
has to come through the state, and it's not
We
going
do
open right
anticipate that opening back up Q1, the first year for this.
All right, so for everyone that, just make sure the question is there assistance and help for personal storm shelters? Currently, MEMA is saying there's not a program open right now. However, we're hoping quarter one, a new program will be opened up. Yes, sir.
I understood everyone to be asking what the needs were.
Correct.
I didn't hear the question as what all is it that MEMA and FEMA will not do? The question was, what are the needs? And this gentleman says he needs a storm shelter.
Absolutely. Yes, and so the challenge is going to be, one, yes, we hear that, we'll make sure we document that, but again, one of those things is not just tonight to say it, but to document it, right? Because a lot of times what happens is people are responding to what we call statistics, right? And as they see that need, more and more people registering that need. That's how it comes up on the radar, right? That's how MEMA knows, man, we need to get back in there and try to figure out something. But if it's only one guy, or it's only two, right, the more people that'll say, yeah, I need that as well, the more that dot on the radar gets bigger and bigger, and eventually somebody says, we got to get to that. So I encourage you to register that need, okay?
I'm sure if we ask that question right now, all the hands are up.
Listen, and so here's my recommendation. Everybody put it on the application, okay? And listen, I know how that feels. I've sat in that seat, okay? And it feels as if we're saying it, we're doing it, okay? However, again, the more you say it, the more you do it. And listen, don't become weary in it, right? The next meeting, ask the question again. The next meeting, ask the question again. And continue to ask that question until those who are in power to be begin to work on those solutions. All of these things are things that we desire to do, that people desire to do. It's sometimes trying to figure out what bucket of money, what pot of money, how can we get that money back in action, and all of those things are very, very important. And so again, I'll say that it's documented. We've got some potential solution. The best way to be able to be informed about as solutions come available is to be registered. So when they're typing in, hey, we just heard about this money coming back online, they go into the system, they type in who needs personal shelters. Everyone who has said that need then comes up. And then they begin to call back through that list of people who have said they need have that need, okay? And so, again, make sure you register that need. We're going to go here and then there, all right? Yes, sir.
Okay. On some of our properties, the tornado took out, damaged a lot of trees.
Yes, sir.
And when you got 3 or 4 trees on your property, and they tell you to get somebody here, we say, so this is 3 or 4 trees.
Yes, sir.
There's a resource that we can get, because we got a lot of damaged trees in our neighborhoods that the top down and cut it down. And so I'm just wondering if there are any resources.
Let me say this, and then the mayor has a comment as well. I will say this from experience. One of the greatest resources in volunteerism around this nation is men and women who like to cut trees. That's one of the things that people like, I want to do that, right? There's a lot of organizations that have training to get people trained to cut trees. Listen again. Don't think any need is too small. Don't think, oh, it's just a tree. Say it. Because the more that registers, there are volunteer groups, that's all they do, is come cut trees. And they'll come in and say, we're going to bring 25, 50 guys. We're going to cut trees. We're coming in to cut trees for a whole week. If we know but they want to make sure when they get here, they got 100 trees to cut. Okay? Well, if we've got 89, but there's 50 other trees and somebody said, oh, it's just a tree in the yard, I'm not worried about it, I got a bigger problem. No, we need the big problem, that's a small problem. Say them all. Because when they get here and start cutting trees, it might take 100 trees just to recruit that team here. We need every tree counted. And so I encourage you, when you fill out your application, not only say I need trees cut, count them. I need 4 trees cut, 3 of them standing, 2 of them laying down in the yard. Be specific and let that need be known. Because there are, again, volunteer groups specifically that just absolutely love to cut trees. And so I would say there's great potential of that assistance coming in sooner rather than later. But make sure that need is documented well. Yes, sir.
So DBDR, the personal property debris removal, those of y'all that filled that out, we are told last week by the Deputy Director of MEMA that hopefully within the next 10 days, those qualifications will be out there and the resources will be back in the field to remove those trees. I know of the 250 applicants that put in, 182 or so qualified, so help is on the way in that area.
That's a hand clap right there, guys. There you go. That's a great question. Let me take this question. I've got one here. Is this a resource? You have a resource answer or a question? Okay, let me take this question. I promised them 1, 2, and then I'm coming to you. Is that okay? All right. Yes.
Do we have an updated list of available contractors that can provide detailed quotes? That's what a lot of people need, that are actually available and can provide detailed quotes, because that's what they need to qualify.
I'm looking around the room. If I have an answer here locally, we'll take note of that. Okay? And notice that is a need. I think we've got some individuals in the room that I'm aware of that can probably help formulate that list. Here's what I would challenge you to do. Make sure that you're saying that as well, right? That need is available, and we can make sure to do our best to get that back into the community. Vetting those contractors is the difficult part. Because if there's an official list that goes out and someone gets taken advantage of by somebody that's on the official list, then it comes back on the city. Do you see the liability there? You follow what I'm saying? That there's a challenge to make sure those people are vetted and legitimate and things along those lines. And so it sounds like a really, really easy thing to do. But what the officials don't want to do is push your vulnerability onto the community by not being able to say this is a reputable person. So it does take time, and even if it's even possible, to vet a person and recommend. Officials have to be very, very careful when they recommend this person, because a lot of people just biting off way more than they can chew. Okay, there's a lot of guys that mean well and want to do well, but if they get on a list and everybody calls them, they want to say yes, and maybe they do, but they just can't come up to speed. And very honestly, I will say there's likely not enough contractors locally, which is why this group is working very, very hard to get volunteers in here that can help start to mitigate some of the damage here in the area. It's very, very important. But I think the need is duly noted, and we'll try to work on it. But I want to be honest about the position that officials are in when they officially recommend somebody and they just don't come up to snuff. Okay, that can create a real vulnerability problem continuing in our community. 1, 2, 3. Where's my time? Resource. I'm sorry. Resource get privilege. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Hadley, Love Without Walls. The city of Amory has a list. It's not an actual recommendation, but there's a list of contractors who've been over to City Hall and they are vetted. Now, they are running behind because the demand is so great. But there is a list. If you all contact me, I have a copy of that list with those contractors on it.
All right. Is there a best way to contact you? Other than everybody swarming you in about 3 minutes.
Just about everybody knows my My number is 662-549-4832.
Say it one more time. Uh-oh, slow down.
662-549-4832. And I'll just send it to you in text or email or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Brandon, what can you tell the folks about a timeline, something that they can expect between now and say 3 months from now? Everybody wants Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas coming up, they want to go back to their home, but they would like to know what can they expect? Because there's hope, if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that they want to see that light coming a little brighter each day.
Yeah, I will say this. Anyone that tells you how quick something is going to happen at this point is probably lying to you.
Exactly.
Okay? I think that's fair and that's honest. That's not what you came here to hear. Okay? But I also am a pastor and I can't be just lying to folk. Okay? That's not how I work. I got to go to heaven when I leave here. You understand what I'm saying? So part of that is that that's right. That's right. You know, I want to go to heaven when I leave here. So anyone that will make you a pie in the sky promise is probably lying to you. Okay? This is going to be a long process. Okay? But you can be making steps in the right direction every day. You can be making sure that you're filling out everything you need to. I will tell you this: don't feel bad about calling folk back, but don't feel bad about calling them once a week. You can tell you they're gonna call you back every week. But if it just cools your jets and you can rest your nerve because you made a phone call. Don't sit there stressed out, right? Make that effort, right? Continue to make that effort. Because when you work, things can happen, right? And the more we put down those pressures and the more we let our needs be known, the more we can continue to push those out. I can tell you though, there are volunteer organizations that are signing up and saying, we want to come to Amory, right? There are resources on a daily basis that are being called in that are saying, hey, we want to give windows, we want to give this, truckloads of that. Those things are happening on a daily basis. Does that move? Does the call come and it hit the community the next day? It does not. It takes time. But those things are really building up. The key to it is being able to document those needs, being able to share that. The quicker we can do that, the quicker we can get the 300-400 people registered and we know those needs, the quicker we can get on the phone and start calling those larger organizations that can bring 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people and say, there's enough work here for you to do. Come now and stay as long as you can. And so I can tell you that there's groups scheduled in the next couple months. I can tell you that traditionally there's a great volunteerism season from January to May. I can tell you there's a lot of volunteers that love to travel in the summertime. So I can tell you between now and the end of next summer, there should be a lot of work that gets done here in this community if everyone participates, right? It will not happen without you. Your story is important. Your needs are important. If they are not registered, our voice to be able to advocate for you gets smaller and smaller. But I can tell you there's great resources of volunteerism that are out there, and the better we can tell the story, the quicker they can come. And I know that's a little convoluted, but that's the truth. Okay? Let me make sure. Yes, ma'am? Right here.
I think my question is going to kind of be for the mayor of Amory.
Okay.
Because we stay on one green code, and everybody over there had insurance except for this one particular house, and they have abandoned it, and it came a health hazard in our neighborhood. The grass is overgrown, the trees, everything looks bad. And we were just trying to wonder what we see. They tore down all the houses over on the west side that did not have insurance or whatever. We just wonder why. Well, I'm not saying, I'm not raising.
All right, hold on.
But I do know some of the houses.
Some houses getting tore down. You need that one gone.
Yeah.
I
But
understand.
they did not come over there and take care of the house in our neighborhood.
Okay.
Sitting up there, it is really a danger to us. Because
Okay.
we had to call the dog pound for wild dogs that was in the back of the house. And then it's sitting in between an elderly lady, and then on the other side.
What's the community name again? Just so I
It's
can-
we stay in East Angry, we at 1 Green, we on Green Code.
On Green Code,
Yeah.
okay.
Man, I will get with you on that address in a minute. As you saw, the last couple of weeks, we pushed out our code enforcement efforts to ramp up, starting October the 1st. We gave everybody a chance to file their insurances and to have the effort and the opportunity to get back in their homes. Starting October the 1st, that we're going back to full strength with our code enforcement. I'll get that address from you in just a moment.
All right, let's see, we're gonna go, give me 1 second, we're gonna do about 3 more, we're gonna go 1, 2, and then 1 or 2 over on this side, okay? Here we go, yes, sir.
In response to his comments about the contractors, you can go to the Mississippi State Board of Contractors and see who's licensed, see who's local here to our area, and he can, at that time.
I was saying available. I'm aware of the list. Most of those are not available.
Right.
I was very clear in my question.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I had lunch with one yesterday, and he's booked out through March.
Correct. So
It-
I'm aware of the list. I was clear with availability.
Availability. And so I think that's a great question. I think we can at least put a call out for it. My leaning will likely, having been not just part of a disaster myself, but in other parts of the country, that availability is going to be very, very difficult, which is one of the reasons it's so important to get volunteers in here to start the process and get you guys rolling in the meantime, okay? Yes, ma'am.
United Methodist, whatever, you name it, I filled it out. What do you do when you have a contractor, like the gentleman was saying, they give you a quote, nothing is detailed the way the insurance wants. Now my insurance is giving me, for lack of a better word, the flux about flipping this money over to us so that we can try to get something going. You know, I'm at the point where I'm getting ready to deal with the insurance commission downstate, because when they send you X number of dollars, they try to assume that you're gonna be able to take care of your house. And like my baby told me, we're gonna make it habitable. I don't wanna inhabit it, I wanna live in it. So, does FEMA still have legal assistance? And if so, do they deal with that? Because even if you have insurance here, and yes, they sweating us about find the contractor, but if somebody happens to cross your path, and they're willing to help you, then what are they gonna do in turn, so that you can keep the contractor that you found for the past 7 months, so that you can try to do something to your home?
It's a great question. I think there's one, we do have a FEMA representative here. Let's give her a hand for coming. This is not an easy place to come being with FEMA, I promise you. So, thank you so much. Any specific answer?
So there is legal assistance still available. We're going to be in the hall here. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I need to pull it up, but come see me afterward and I can give you that number.
So there is some legal assistance available. FEMA's right back here in the hall, so as soon as we dismiss in just a few moments, make sure you go get that number, okay? And make sure, I will say this, you're going to have to continue to advocate for yourself. Do not think for one moment that if you let off the press, something great's gonna happen. You're gonna have to press till the last nail is driven in your house, okay? And I can say that for my house personally, okay? And Liz can say the same thing, and everyone here is, I can tell you, you're not fighting those battles by yourself. But do not stop fighting and use every single resource that you have available and ask those questions and keep making your requests known. Okay, let me go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to dismiss tonight. But we will have, again, representatives are here, and we'll try to stay for as long as we possibly can to answer questions, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just wanted to answer the young lady just got to talking about the insurance, and they asking her for all that different information. And they're not gonna do no better because my home was damaged, and it was, contractor came out, he said $27,000, and my insurance wrote a check out for $3,300.
Oh, that's a big difference.
They're not giving me anything else. I contacted the commissioner, insurance commissioner, and the insurance sent their own engineer out to see what was what, and they went with it. They said it was still one of them. So, me personally have to go in my own pocket trying to keep it so it can be livable, so I can get things done. No air, heat unit at all. They said that they don't believe that it was dangerous because of the tornado that came through Egypt. He's told me I worded it wrong, the reason they won't. And how can you word when you know the tornado came through Egypt, whether it was a storm or a tornado, it still came through.
And I'll say this, number one, make sure that need is registered. Make sure you're keeping up with all your paperwork through your process, because many times where an insurance falls short, listen, I'm telling you, these volunteers that go across the country know that story. Many of them have been victims of that same story themselves. And when we're able to say, listen, we have people that are being taken advantage of. We have people whose insurance companies are not coming up to the snuff in the bar. They will say, you know what? That's where we want to be. That's what we want to serve, because I had that happen to me. And so please make sure, again, that you're saying, listen, I know, make sure, even if you got insurance and it has not come up to bar, register your need. Now they're going to ask, do you have insurance? Now let me say this, and we're going to take one more question. Don't be lying. Look at your neighbor and say, don't be lying. Don't be lying. Lying ain't helping nobody. Lying not helping nobody. I know. We be thinking if I can make up a good enough story, then I'm going to be first. Lying ain't helping nobody, okay? Make sure that you're being honest. Tell the truth, tell the story, okay? It doesn't mean that you automatically disqualified. Do you have insurance? No, I don't have insurance. Baby, listen. If they send you a check, somebody else know it but you. Okay? So be honest. Because the first time, just like with our children, the first time I find out you're lying, now I just got to think everything you ever said was a lie. Right? It's not worth it. There's good people that want to do good work, that want to help this community. Okay? And the truth is bad enough. I guarantee you, I've driven around Amory. The truth is enough to get some help. There's no need to exaggerate it, because it's a real need here in Amory. And so I encourage you, the first time, tell the story, tell the truth, because guess what? You can say it twice. You got to remember what you told this person. Now, who you with? Now, what I told them, no, don't just tell the truth. Right? And so those needs can really be calculated. And I'm telling you, even in moments like that where you feel like I got insurance, but it didn't come up to snuff, now no one else is going to help me. That is not true. Make sure that you're registering those needs. I got to get to one more question, and then we're going to dismiss hopefully with prayer tonight. But no, if you're here with resources, can you just wave your hand if you're here with resources tonight? You're here with us, FEMA or MEMA. Just wave your hand. I just Red Cross if you're here, okay? Look around. We just want to make sure we're going to hang around for a little while to answer those questions, and we want to be of assistance to you tonight. So when we dismiss, that is not us abandoning you. I want you to understand that. We just want to make sure that we've been as timely as we possibly could tonight. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my question.
One moment, guys. One moment. Shh. One moment.
My question is with zoning. My brother lost his trailer, and I went to zoning. They told me that I could not put another trailer on that lot because it didn't belong to him, even though I was paying rent for it. And then this other people lost their home and can't put a trailer there because it's by a church or it's by a school. Yeah, that's not right.
Okay, go ahead.
It just depends on how it's zoned. Our zoning qualifications change over the years. I encourage you to stop by my office and go down and look at it, or whoever's on it is, and we'll send it to you.
Well, that's the man sitting right there who owns the land. Mr. Johnson.
Well, that's great. Let's make sure. Let's make sure, particularly on listen in. Let's make sure that on those zoning challenges, and those are real, and they can take a lot of work, okay? But let's make sure that we've got the facts and what's what and where's where, and the mayor has invited you. I would encourage you to do that, and anyone else to make sure that as many of those can be addressed at a single time that's possible. Yes. All right. So we're gonna allow the alderman to speak. I'm sorry. I know, but I'm gonna blame it on me. Come see me right after the meeting. All right, and I'm gonna personally find some help. Okay, some kind of answer for you. As long as I don't know, it's a good answer. No. Say again. Okay, I'll make sure FEMA get over here for you personally. I got you. All right. Let's hear all.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to sum up what you're saying, the way my grandmama would, is the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Facts.
So start squeaking. Tell all your friends, everybody, start squeaking. I don't care, write it down, get them numbers up, get them in here. That's all I wanted to say.
First of all, I want to thank the Long-Term Recovery Committee for being here and all the resources that we have. Senator Bryan from Jackson for being here with us, the mayor, and all of you. When I look around, I see a standing room only. Y'all, that's what it's gonna take. And not just this one meeting, because this long-term recovery is just what it said. It's long-term. I've talked to so many of you. I've walked this ward from end to end. I know the need, and it's real. And it's real. Just like what he was saying, and Ms. Mitchell was saying, get this information out. Share it. Pastor Mabry, I'm glad you're here. The Pastoral Association, we need to get this out to the churches. We need to flood this register for assistance out to everybody. The more needs that they see, like you said, the analytics of it, if it's roofing, if it's framing, whatever it is, the more that they see that what needs to be done, the more looks we're going to get here. I know you need. I live here. I see it. I get the phone calls. I go to the visit when people call me. I go have those conversations. And I'm going to tell you, when somebody tells you that it's raining in their house, okay, that it still talks up and the wind blowing and it's raining in the house, and y'all, it's getting ready to get cold. So I know the need. But let me tell you, like she said, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. We gotta let it be known. We gotta let it be known about the need. So as this long-term recovery committee continues to meet, be here. And next time when they have another meeting, bring somebody with you. Amen. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and listening. We're going to ask Pastor Mabry to come and close in prayer.
Before we pray, we want to just thank everyone for coming out tonight and listen. Let's continue to pray, not just